Let's go!
Hey everybody, Coach Scott here, and today I want to weigh in on soy protein, probably one of the most controversial things that we talk about. And as you know, there's very few things that I have non-negotiables about, and with the exception of just very few things. But I do want to talk to you about protein, and soy protein always comes up. It's very controversial in the nutrition world, and for that reason alone, I pretty much take a middle ground on it and say just try to avoid. But for some vegetarians and some vegans who are sensitive to other types of foods and other types of proteins, soy protein can seem like a good alternative. However, soy is like I said, a very controversial food in the all-natural healthcare and nutrition world. So I want to weigh in on it because some people think that it's safe and that it's a very healthy option if it's produced and manufactured correctly, and others think it's the enemy to our health. And so, again, what I want to really get you to understand is there are many options that you have. And again, look at the research, look at the studies, and most studies and research suggest that some soy protein in your diet can have some health benefits. So, for example, foods that are like soy, foods that have appear to have some positive effects on your diet could be like heart health. But interestingly enough, even the FDA now has pulled its support of this claim, because that was where they were getting a lot of their support was from the FDA. And another review showed that replacing animal protein with 25 grams or more of soy protein per meal resulted in a decreased total cholesterol. In other words, your bad LDL cholesterol and triglyceride levels went down. But in regards to cancer and in regards to the nutritional profile and nutritional protocols for cancer, the evidence appears pretty negative when it comes to soy. And many even observational studies have seen different effects of soy on how it can have an effect one way or the other on your body. But here's what the most important thing to remember is, whether it applies to soy protein isolate powder or textured vegetable protein, they're all made from soybeans. So it's from the same plant, it's from the same source. And again, there's a lot of studies out there that will lean to a healthy, viable source for you. And then there's a ton of studies that say that it has negative effects and it can cause some real health issues. So for that reason alone, I try to say let's lean towards and stay away from soy protein, if you will, as much as you can. Again, and this is just, again, a middle ground approach. I'm not trying to shy away from it. I've studied both sides of the table, and for me, there's plenty of options outside of soy. So me personally, I'm going to try to avoid soy when I possibly can. Doesn't mean you can avoid it 100%, but if you're really conscious about it and you understand really some of the risk factors that are associated with some of these studies, then it probably is going to serve you well to have some discernment on what type of protein you're using. So whether you're an animal-based protein, whether you're plant-based protein, when you're discussing soy, you always have to bring up what the studies indicate as possible and probable in terms of if you're taking on that protein source. So there are plenty of studies out there for you to look at. I'm just kind of weighing on a couple things as they pop in my mind right now. But again, people have said, Coach, why are you so against soy? And it's not that I'm against soy 100%. It's just that the evidence doesn't support me to weigh in 100% when there's so much controversy on both sides. And again, there's just too many other good plant-based protein sources and good animal-based protein sources for you to try to hang your hat and live and die on one protein source. So that's the reason that I say avoid or limit your soy consumption, because again, you just have too many options. So if you are vegan or you are vegetarian, I know this can kind of eliminate one of your major sources of protein, but it does not have to limit you to the point that you don't have any options. Some people, again, when you just think about all the options that people do have, some people have some real concerns about soy. And again, soy proteins, and let me just, I tell you what, I'm gonna weigh in on it. I'm gonna tell you why, because it's not just a matter of how, but it's also a matter of why. Soy protein basically has what we call anti-nutrients in it. And what these do, they reduce the ability of iron and zinc to be uploaded or uptake in your body. So when you're talking about these anti-nutrients, they don't have really an adverse effect on your health unless your diet is severely imbalanced from those other nutrients. And again, that's why some people rely on soy as their source of iron and zinc. But there's also some concerns that soy intake may affect a person's thyroid function. And this is another thing. When you have so many things that are pointing in a negative direction, and then you have some that are pointing in a positive, it's always been my experience where there's smoke, there's usually some type of fire. And so in soy, basically you've got these different types of anti-nutrients and different types of micronutrients that interfere with thyroid function, as a lot of people have discussed and a lot of research has suggested. However, there's a variety of studies now. When you look across the internet and you look at your medical reviews, there is a variety of studies that show that soy has no, or they have only a very mild effect on thyroid function in humans. So again, it's one of those balancing acts of who's right, who's wrong. There's probably some truth to both sides. And many people, like myself, are going to take that middle ground approach and stay away from soy because of the phytoestrogen content. Because again, I know that phytoestrogens can disrupt natural hormone levels in your body. And phytoestrogens are basically these chemical compounds that occur naturally in plants. And they have like an estrogen-like properties that bind to estrogen receptors in your body. And again, soy is a notable source of these. So that's why, as a man, I'm going to try to make sure I don't disrupt any of those issues that I'm dealing with, especially as it relates to having an estrogenic effect. But there's one caveat. Soy protein, for the most part, is made from the soybean, rinsed in alcohol and water. And when you rinse it in alcohol and water, a good amount of those phytoestrogens are washed away as well. So there's a lot of people that go, you know what, you shouldn't even worry about soy. Soy is a good source, it's a good option. But many men, including me, worry that soy could potentially decrease testosterone levels. So I'm going to stay away from it. And I would advise you to find other options as well, because there's just too many. Now, if it was your only option, and if it was your only real source of protein, and there wasn't anything else you could do, then I'd say it's better than nothing, but there's just too many. And finally, as I close up, soy products are controversial because, and this is another reason that I really stay away from them, is because they're frequently genetically modified. In other words, they're GMO'd. Now, not all soy is created equal. So again, I just want to caution you that some soy protein bars, some soy-infused veggie burgers, and there's a laundry list of other foods that are even sugar sweetened with soy and soy yogurt. Again, this is not a health food, by the way. This is not a health food. So when you have soy-infused burgers or soy-infused plants or food and soy-infused type of yogurt, again, that is not necessarily a healthy option for you. So the real controversy as it relates to soy and the whole soy product, and again, I know hope I'm not rambling for you here. I hope I'm trying to connect some of these dots for you. But soybean oil is especially high in things like omega-6 fat, which that can definitely be concerning because we have such an imbalance in the American diet of O6 and O3. And again, when you're talking about having a real difference and a real imbalance in O6s, you're talking about a real issue because most Americans consume much higher levels of omega-6 compared to the omega-3s. And again, this is problematic because, again, it's causing risk. And when you have risk factors that continue to go up, and when you have health factors and health risk that's associated with an O6 to O3 imbalance, again, it's going to promote a lot of things that you probably don't want. Unwanted weight gain, inflammation, there's all kind of things that 06-03 imbalance can place you at a greater risk for. And again, even more importantly, probably things like heart disease as well. So again, I think I've cleared it up a little bit on why I stand the way I stand and why we make the stance that we do to try to avoid soy-based protein products, not soy lecithin or soy isolates, but we're talking about a soy-based protein product when the number one ingredient in that food is actually soy. So if you have any questions, you can reach back out to me. I hope this hasn't caused more confusion, but I always want to weigh in and let our clients and let our patients know not only how to do things, but why we do things the way we do. So if you got any questions or comments, hit me back. You know where to find me. God bless you guys. Keep your foot on the gas. Take care. I'll see you soon.